Hold on. I'm not gonna use the mic in this video, but I feel like actually no, Kenny don't even have a mic, right? Nah, Kenny don't have a mic. Okay, let's do this again. What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Oh, I should okay. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Box in One. This is not an episode, but we are discussing Game 2 of the NBA Finals. This microphone is not on. I just have it in my hand, so I feel like I'm doing something. Maybe I'll put it there. It's just more for the aesthetic of the setup than the actual setup. But Game 2 of the NBA Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers has officially wrapped up. Let me check the score, because I'm not going to lie to you. I did start recording this video once I felt safe with the lead the Oklahoma City Thunder had. So let us check this score here. 107 to 123 as it stands. 22.8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma City Thunder have tied this series up 1-1. I have a question for everybody watching this video. Where is Tyrese Haliburton? Now, I get it. He's the guy that hit the game winner in game one of this series, but he was ghost for a majority of that first through third quarter. Same thing tonight. He was ghost for a majority of the first through third quarter. He only had 3 points in the first half, and then he goes for 10 or 15, I believe, in the second half, more specifically in the fourth quarter. I think it's about Oklahoma City's defense, and today that's what we're going to talk about. They're cutting off the passing lanes for Tyrese. They're cutting off the ability for him to get a rhythm in the perimeter. You've got Case and Wallace, Caruso, Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, so many guys that can keep up with the speed of Tyrese Haliburton, and that's not something that the Knicks had. That's not something that the Cavs had. The Bucks didn't have that. I mean, after trading away guys like Drew Holiday and Javon Carter and Grayson Allen, you lose all of your perimeter defenders in that case. But now you have a team in the Oklahoma City Thunder who actually can go toe-to-toe with the perimeter defense of the... What was I just saying? As I was saying, I got a little lost there, but basically what I'm saying is that the Oklahoma City Thunder actually have a perimeter team and defenders that is able to keep up with Tyrese Haliburton and the pace of the Indiana Pacers. That is a problem for the Indiana Pacers. I am somebody who picked the Indiana Pacers to win in 7 games, so them losing game 2 does not change that, but it's going to be a problem, especially if in games 3 and games 4, the Pacers don't have a way to get Tyrese Haliburton available. It's the way that they're kind of handling this Thunder defensive scheme. Even in the game they won, it's because they hit shots, but every possession for the Indiana Pacers is a fight. Mind you, I don't know if the Indiana Pacers are a team that necessarily minds that, but the issue becomes when this Thunder team, their offensive possessions are a lot smoother. They're getting to the basket. They're getting to their spots. They might just be missing shots. Even in that game one they lost, Thunder were still having better offensive possessions. They were just simply missing their shots. So it's really going to be an issue for the Indiana Pacers if you can't get Tyrese Haliburton available and ready, because when he's available and ready, that whole offense opens up. And if you can't open up the offense, I'm not going to rely on Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Obi Toppin, and TJ McConnell to carry me when I have Tyrese Haliburton on my team and Miles Turner as well. We can throw him in that 5. When the other team has SGA, Chet, J-Dub, Lou Dort, Caruso, Case and Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Hartenstein, so many pieces, Isaiah Joe. There's so many guys on that. I'm shaking the table. Okay. I'm not even that passionate about Thunder's basketball. Sometimes I'm just like, bro, how did they get that team? Thank you, Los Angeles Clippers. As I was saying, though, when you have a team that's stacked against you, you have to get your star player ready. And I think it's going to be really interesting throughout the series to see exactly how Tyrese Haliburton gets available. This is kind of similar to that in-season tournament a couple years ago between the Indiana Pacers and the Los Angeles Lakers, where Haliburton was on a crazy run similar to this. And the Los Angeles Lakers simply threw multiple bodies. They threw Cam Reddish. They threw other guys on him. Cam Reddish was the main one that locked up Tyrese Haliburton, crazy enough. But when you throw multiple bodies on Haliburton, he is not sure how to work around that. In isolation, it's fine. But when you throw multiple bodies on one guy and he can't get a read on one guy, that's when these things get a little dicey for the Pacers. We saw that with that in-season tournament. We've seen that again now against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see if Tyrese Haliburton can actually overcome that deficit in his game and really figure out either off-ball movement or just figure out a different way for his gravity to carry the Indiana Pacers to a win. When we talk about a guy like Steph Curry and people say he's not a traditional point guard, this is a sidebar, but I'm thinking of these guys that can shoot, that can facilitate, that can break down defenses, get everybody involved. When you look at a guy like Stephen Curry, and still in my opinion, I think he's the greatest point guard ever, Magic is probably the best passing point guard we've seen. I think John Stockton has an argument. I think Chris Paul has an argument in terms of just pure point guards. I think Russ is the most athletic point guard we've seen. Kyrie is the most skilled scoring point guard we've ever seen. AI is probably one of the most impressive two-way point guards, especially for his size, also being great at assists and steals and having that presence. He was 5'11" in a league full of giants, and he was not a cone, similar to Chris Paul. I digress, though. When we talk about Steph and Curry, And this is the next jump Tyrese Haliburton needs to take if he wants to win this series and also get back to the finals. When we think about Stephen Curry, we think about three guys being on him at a time. We think about him running around the court. Now, granted, that is a product of his shooting, but when we think about Stephen Curry, we think about all of the guys that have played with him that look way better with him than when they leave the team. We look at so many guys he got open. We look at Otto Porter. We look at Bielita. We look at Jordan Poole. We look at Klay Thompson. Obviously, Klay Thompson was Klay Thompson, so I mostly mean post-injury Klay Thompson, but Klay was still a shooter. I mean, that 23 year, I was just looking at the stats today. He averaged 22 on 43, 42, and 87 from the field, and he averaged 22, 4, and 4. That's still a very good season, especially off the injuries he was coming off of and already winning a championship. I digress. The thing that makes Steph Curry so dangerous is that he knows how to affect the offense even when the ball is not in his hands. And Tyrese Haliburton needs to find a way to do that if he can't figure out this Oklahoma City Thunder defense, or the Pacers need to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to get Tyrese Haliburton more engaged, because it is definitely going to be a problem if you're going into game 3 and game 4, etc., against this Oklahoma City defense that has not changed. The Oklahoma City Thunder defense has not changed. They just were more consistent on offense tonight. That defense is strong. It's fortified. They know what they're doing. If that defense has not changed and your offense now doesn't have answers for that, it's going to get very, very scary for the Indiana Pacers. With that being said, though, guys, that is going to do it for us today. Kind of a recap in between games 1 and games 2 of this NBA Finals. We're not going to have pod episodes every week. Obviously, summer, we got jobs. We're college students. Stuff happens, but we're still going to get the articles. Rois is holding it down on the Instagram. We're still getting all of our content out on the channel. So look forward to more of that. Again, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you all in the next one.